Hello and welcome back to another great session, types of OLAP systems. So we have learned about, what is OLAP and what exactly happens within the OLAP and why do we need OLAP as well. So now let's learn about what are the different types of OLAP system. So whatever the diagram right now you see on the screen, it's a OLAP hierarchical structure. So as you can see here, there are various OLAP systems based on the purpose they used for. Since analytics is a vast subject supporting many decision making, OLAP systems are evolved over a period of time with the various options. Let's study what are the different types of OLAP systems in this topic. So first one is rational OLAP, which is also called as ROLAP. So ROLAP is an extended RDBMS along with a multidimensional data mapping to perform the standard relational operations. This type of OLAP system, it supports and performs dynamic multidimensional analysis of the data stored in a relational database rather than in a multidimensional database. So which is usually considered as the OLAP standard. In the real time, when user query the data via the SSRS reports or Excel, the select statements are fired at the database to retrieve the data. When large amount of data is queried, please pay attention. When a large amount of data is queried, this may affect the performance. Then you may ask me why this is used, right? So this kind of approach is used when you are querying small amount of the data for your purpose. So your relational OLAP or ROLAP is best for small amount of the data when you are basically querying. You don't have a data for the last 30 years or 40 years or 50 years. If you have a data like for 10 years, and it depends again, how many metrics you have, how many facts you have. So based on that, you can define the ROLAP system of OLAP. And the next one is the MOLAP. So MOLAP implements operation in the multidimensional data. So it basically indexes directly. What it does is it basically indexes directly into the multidimensional database. So in this system, the user is able to view different aspects. User is able to view different aspects or the facets of the data aggregates such as sales by time, geography, and product model. This could be done by even ROLAP, but it affects the performance as data must be aggregated in the ROLAP system. So the next one is OLAP, or the hybrid online analytical processing. So this is basically a hybrid model. In OLAP approach, the aggregated totals are stored in a multidimensional database while the detailed data is stored in the relational database. You see, the data which is aggregated tools are stored in the multidimensional database and the detailed data is stored in the relation database. That's how they want to make use of both MOLAP and ROLAP and make it as a hybrid analytical, hybrid online analytical processing. This offers both data efficiency of the ROLAP because ROLAP is made for the data efficiency and the performance of the MOLAP model. And the next, there are a few other, types of OLAP systems are there. So let's go through one by one quickly. So the first one is OLAP, that is WOLAP, we can say WOLAP. So it's nothing but web OLAP, which is OLAP system accessible via the web browser. So WOLAP is a 3-tiered architecture and it consists of 3 components. First one is client, middleware, and a database server. I would say web OLAP is basically an operation of an OLAP tool from the web browser, as simple as that. So a solution that provides a merging of 2 very dynamic technologies, the World Wide Web and the OLAP tools. It's not widely used yet, but it's again depends on how big or how small your data is. What is nextly is DOLAP. So DOLAP is nothing but desktop OLAP. So in desktop OLAP, a user downloads a part of the data from the database locally or on their desktop and analyze it. So in this case, what happens is user can pivot and manipulate the data locally from the return result set stored on the desktop. So this approach brings excellent query performance. It collects, aggregates, and calculates the data in advance of the analysis. So this is something like, say for example, you have a report users from the business, and you have a team like, database experts, business analyst, and business intelligence analyst. So when the report user, wants to perform certain data analysis on his own. He don't want to depend on database person or business analyst or anybody to pull the data. So he would download the data locally, whatever the data he wants, and he would use this desktop OLAP option, like OLAP option, in order to perform the analysis of the data. Basically, when I say analysis, roll up, the drill down, slicing and dicing, and pivoting of the data. So when he does that, right? So that time, he does this on his own desktop. That's why it is called as desktop OLAP. So DOLAP is relatively cheaper to deploy as it offers very few functionalities compared to other OLAP system, because essentially the data will be manipulated or analyzed locally by the user himself or herself. Then it is a very cost-effective option. Next one is SOLAP, Special OLAP. SOLAP is created to facilitate management of both spatial and non-spatial data in a geographic information system, which is also called a GIS. So spatial data warehouse and a spatial OLAP are the technologies developed by integration of spatial database system and data warehouse or OLAP technologies. They support spatial data integration and online analytical processing of massive multidimensional spatial data. So, like I said earlier, my apologies that I am unable to explain each type in details in this topic. So, I'm just touching upon only the concept, as the topic is meant only for the purpose of learning the concept. So, anyway, you're going to learn about each one of the one in separate dedicated topic for each type. I'm restricting myself to explaining the concept in this particular topic. So you will learn about each, the OLAP systems in details in the upcoming sessions. I hope you enjoyed this session. I will see you in the next topic. Thank you.